In August 2021, our family bought 140 acres off the grid in the northern tablelands, and we call it Chimney Creek Farm. We are currently camping in and around our shed, and we dream of building a more sustainable and peaceful life. We have some exciting progress to show you. We've finished installing our 4-stage water filtration system, and we've had some repairs to our access road. We said goodbye to Richard's sheep, and we've installed a firewood stacker or storage rack as well, and a sink and some cupboards for storage, and a water pump from our tank so that we can now drink filtered water straight from the tap inside. How exciting! So our ultraviolet water sterilizer arrived, and this is the 4th and final stage of our water filtration system. If you want to see how we put the first 3 stages together, then just watch our water filtration video that we posted earlier on. So some people have asked me why we're using filters when it's perfectly fine to drink our water straight from the tank. The main reason is that our son Eli recently had a bacterial stomach infection called Helicobacter Plyori, and it was making him quite sick. He's been treated with antibiotics and recovered from it now, but unfortunately all the blood tests that he had raised some other concerns relating to his blood and his immune system. He's had so many blood tests and injections every week to get him back to healthy, and so I just don't want to take any risks. His haematologist said that he shouldn't even brush his teeth with water straight from the tank. And in other health news, I went to the hospital to have my 2nd iron infusion for this year. Fun times! So I have pernicious anemia, which is an autoimmune disease or disorder where your own body attacks its own stomach lining, and you're not able to produce intrinsic factor, which is basically causing B12. You're unable to absorb B12 basically. And so when you become iron deficient, you're not producing enough blood cells to keep your body functioning properly. I'll put a link to pernicious anemia and the symptoms in the description below, but it can have such a wide range of effects that you wouldn't really think of as it relating to anemia. Paul picked up this sink for free from the side of the road in Brisbane, so we're going to give it a bit of a spruce up. Paul spent some time sanding it back and washing it down to repaint it. You can see that it's got some old black stains inside it. We also picked up this old style hutch for some storage in the shed as well, and it only cost us $80, which I thought was a bargain. And this is Paul's compressor that he'll use to get his spray gun working for this paint. So Paul's got some white undercoat base paint and a primer undercoat hardener and the paint sprayer and some spraying thinner. So he basically mixed the undercoat with the hardener and the thinner all in measurements of 1/3 each. And here's Paul painting the sink. So this is 2-pack paint that Paul's using right now, and after he does this first coat, then he uses the wet and dry sander to do the sanding and go through the whole process again, and then he'll do another top coat. It's looking good so far. And the sink has come up looking shiny and brand new. So now we just have to put the plugs in the holes and attach the tap and then put it into the bench top. This is the bench top we got. And we'll build 3 storage cupboards underneath and hook up the tank from outside to the water pump and then through the water filters and attach the tap to the sink.
Sink that comes about there. The under cupboard drawer.
So now that spring is here, the days have grown longer and it's starting to get warmer. The plants are beginning to bud and grow. Their life cycle begins again. As we move into spring, the shift of energy in the world changes, as it does within us too. Out here we enjoy feeling free, like a flight of butterflies running on the wings of the wind. And the wildflowers will begin to bloom soon. Paul and Eli build the cupboards together. So these are the cupboards that will be going underneath the bench top and underneath the sink. It will be great to have some cupboards for some storage space.
Yep, now wind it all the way down. And just flick.
I decided to take Truffles for a walk to take a closer look at the access track, which had been just freshly repaired and maintained. There are still quite a few patches of bogginess along the way, but it's much better than it was before. If you've been following us along in our off-grid journey, you would have seen what it was like when we were using it before. A big improvement at least. Let's get back home, Truffles. Every time I see these chimneys, I feel like they're a real special part of this landscape. And the chimneys serve as a reminder that there once was a family and a history in this spot. These chimneys were connected at one time to an old homestead here, and we've been told that it might have been an old dairy farm. Unfortunately, there is a dead sheep in the creek, and we'll have to pull that out of the waterway. Richard has removed his sheep from our property, but we've seen 3 or 4 left behind, so Richard will be back soon to catch those ones. Here is Paul putting on his MacGyver thinking hat, trying to work out the best way to install everything. We are just emerging from our winter here in Australia, and it's still getting down to as low as 3 degrees Celsius overnight. And the nights still feel quite cold. This is my mum, Mary, and Truffles by the fire. We've done a bit of fireproofing around the property recently. We've cleaned out all of our gutters with the leaves and twigs, and we've picked up some old dead tree branches from around the place to burn. Mum has been doing a great job of helping us clean up. Is there anything better than sitting outside on a beautiful evening with a beautiful sunset, basking in the glow of a fire, chatting with friends and family as the flames flicker in front of you? It's an experience that seems to speak to everyone. Richard and his family have arrived, and their dog Mickey is here to catch these leftover sheep that have been left behind. So Richard's daughter's just got one sheep and she's carrying it to put it in the back of the ute. There they go, they've got one of them and one's run away. So they eventually got them all in And now we don't have any sheep on the property anymore. We've had so much rain that the ground is saturated. We are having another La Nina event, and we're still expecting a lot more rain to come. And here's Truffles sleeping by the fire, a nice warm spot to dry out from all the rain. Studies have found that when rain sounds enters people's brains, our brain unconsciously relaxes and helps us produce alpha waves, which is very close to the state of brain where the human sleeps. Well, at least it's making our grass nice and green, and the risk of fires spreading is a lot lower now. So that's a good thing. Now Paul is measuring up the places where he needs to cut the bench top to fit the sink in. And there's the 3-stage water filtration system in the corner there. That will be connected up underneath the sink under this bench top. I'll try to remember to add the link to the video that we posted about the 3-stage water filtration system. So we've got the plugs in the sink and we're all ready for cutting the bench top. Looks like more rain on the way. So the friction between rain and air can increase when it rains and produces a large amount of negative ions. This means that it can significantly improve the human nervous system, cardiovascular system, blood system and respiratory system. Our large tank is about 1/3 full and our small tank is almost empty now, so we hope to get both of them full by the time this rain event is over in the next few months. So Paul makes the cuts in the bench top to fit the sink in. Fingers crossed he's done it right. Paul's using our skill saw or a circular saw to do this part, and then later on we use the saber saw to get at the corners. So the sink fits perfectly and looks great. Now just to add the filters and pipes in the tap. So we'll just get one more load of wood from these old dead trees, and that should do us for quite a few months as we move into warmer weather. Our friend Daryl White from Daryl White Services whacked together this firewood storage rack for us to keep our wood stored inside neatly. So now we have the plugs in the sink and also the tap attached to the sink, so we can now use this bench top for lots of different things, including preparing meals, and tonight we're having roast pork with roast veggies and crackling. So now the water pump is connected to the big tank. And this is the pump cover. And so this is how powerful the tap pressure is now. We could have a shower under that in summertime. And speaking of showers, our shower tent and toilet tents have been all ripped up from the wind and from the dog and from everyone using them. So we need to do something soon about having a proper shower and toilet room at least. So these are the holes for the water pipes to come through. So we have some friends, Diane and Warwick, that are coming to visit us at Chimney Creek Farm tomorrow, so that will be really lovely. So Truffles has found a dead sheep and she's now having a chew on its leg with the foot still attached. And she brought a dead, dried up lamb into us as well before. Nice. So here is the sink with the water pipes hooked up and the 4-stage water filtration system done. The UV light is the black one on the top. It's taken 1 year for us to get drinking water inside our shed. And here is the tap working with the filtered tank water coming straight from the tap to the kettle for a cup of tea. How satisfying. It was such a long process to get this project done. How grateful are you for your drinking water that comes straight out of your tap? Thanks very much for watching, we really do appreciate it.